Good morning. Morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hope we are all well today on this lovely Friday.
People trickling in. How are you, Madeline?
I'm good, thank you. Today it's Friday.
Good. I know. Always good, isn't it? It's nice to end it on a Friday. It's like, yes, weekend. Amazing.
Okay, so as you're joining, do you want to let us know in the chat where you're joining from and what your job role is? It'll be lovely to hear, to see where we're all coming in from.
It's always interesting to see the different job roles because I think when we're putting together this content, job roles are so different between every agency that it's nice to see the different roles that are actually watching so we can try and tailor things towards you as well. So yeah, if you're here, pop it in the chat of where you're from. Let's have a look. We've got East Midlands.
Amazing.
Rutland, Glasgow, such a widespread. I'm in Wiltshire. I said that earlier and it sounded like a real authentic Wiltshire farmer. So I'll try and say it without my Wiltshire accent. I'm from Wiltshire. Sat next to Westbury Whitehorse.
I'm
Matt,
in
where are you
Hampshire,
from? Hampshire.
Hampshire,
We've got
close to Reading.
Andy. Andy's from Westbury as well. Is that Westbury, Wiltshire? Because that's where I am. It's interesting. We've got Warringtons. Fellow Westburyan. What a time. We've got Hannah Bradford, Northamptonshire, head of sales, lettings. Yeah, so mix of lettings and sales as well in here.
Amazing. Okay, so should we get started?
Yeah, I think we've got most people in now. Yeah, fab. Let's get going. Thank you for that,
Brilliant.
everyone.
Okay, so hello everyone. Thanks for joining and thanks for letting us know where you've coming in from and your job role. Welcome to another one of our Alto Bite Size in the series. And today is going to be all about brochure brilliance, transforming your property details. Like I said, everyone's saying who they are, which is amazing. Okay. So my name's Madeline and I am one of the Alto software trainers. And again, I'm joined by Emma, who is a content specialist for Alto. Okay.
Right, let's take a look at what we're going to go through today. We can head to the agenda screen. Lovely. So the first thing we're going to look at is the national trading standards. So ensuring your compliance with material information. And then we're going to go on to the key elements for a high impacting property listing and brochure. So giving you all the information there for what's going to be the best kind of property listing and brochure that you can create. Then we've got a live demo by Madeline to build a compliant and effective listing and brochure. And then we've got the Q&A, so addressing your brochure and compliance questions, anything that you want to ask, you can ask us then. We have also got the Q&A question box at the bottom of the screen, so you can put questions in there as well. We have actually got one of our trainers sat backstage that will answer these questions as we go through as well. So if you've got any other questions, do put them in there, but know that we have got that dedicated time at the end. And then right at the end, just so that you know to hang about, we've actually got the results from our previous running competition of everyone who left us feedback was entered in to win some free training. So the results are right at the end. So stick around for that. And yeah, thank you. Let's go on.
Amazing. Okay, as usual, always got to keep this running. We're going to be running these couple of polls to start. So amazing if you get involved. So I'm just going to launch the first one, which is your understanding of Alto. So it's coming up, it should be coming up on the screen now. We'll just give a couple of seconds for people to give their responses. Okay, there's a mixture still. It's good, excellent. Brilliant. Okay, so if I just quickly end this poll and just share the results, just so you can see the results on the screen. So you can see we have a very good mixture of people's understanding of Alto at the moment to its and the best potential they have using it. I'm just gonna get my words out then. Okay, so I'm just going to run another quick poll because it kind of really relates to some of the stuff that we're looking at today. Okay, so just bear with me while I bring the other one up on the screen.
So this will be how is your understanding of NTS and the material information requirements? So it's just to gauge where everyone's at with it really before we dive into the content. So just choose the one that's closest to how you feel about it. Poor, fair, good, or excellent. Just gives us an idea of where you're sitting at the moment.
Okay, just give a couple more seconds just for people to add their responses in. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, so let's have a quick look and just have an understanding of this. So as we can see, there's quite a few of you that don't have a sort of a great understanding of NTS and material information requirements. Brilliant that you're here today as well then, because that is really sort of something that we will be looking at in relation to your brochures and your property listings as well. So should we get into it? Should we dive in?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get going.
Okay, let me just come out of this. Okay, so over to you.
Question. Yeah, so we've got how do you ensure you remain compliant with NTS for all of your property listings? So Madeline, if you could tell us a bit about that, that would be amazing.
Of course. So what is material information? So material information is obviously details included about a property that really do impact a buyer or a renter's decision and affect its value. The importance as an estate agent is it ensures that transparency and builds that trust with your client. And it helps you prevent with legal disputes and facilitates smooth transaction process. But for buyers, on the other hand, it enables informed decision making for them and aids in avoiding potential issues or surprises and ensures the property meets the needs and expectations. So there are 3 parts to this material information. You've got part A, part B, and part C. So part A is your sale and rent price, your council tax band, your tenure, and any unavoidable costs. If you're looking at part B, we're looking at any physical characteristics of the property. So room information, utilities, parking. These are just some examples. And then you've got part C, which is potential impacts on the property. So you could be looking at things like flood risks on that side of it. You've got planning permissions, accessibilities. There is a whole range of things. And there is in the resource section, you should be able to see on the right-hand side of this webinar, a link to the Help Centre document, which will really list everything in detail and give you a really, really good guidance on what this material information is for your compliance. Okay. Bear with. Okay. What I'm going to do now as well is I'm just going to quickly drop it into Alto and just show you where you can find in the property section within Alto, where you find this material information, where you need to add it in. Okay. So here I am I hope you can see my Alto screen as well. Just want to double check. So where we need to be looking is we go into our property tab. Okay. And in the property tab, what we're looking at for some of your compliant information, you've got your bedrooms. Okay. You've got any construction information. So across here. Okay. Council tax. So your council tax band and your council tax area, but the band is more important. Parking down here, and you've also got your utilities. Alto has added all of this in now to make it more swiftly and smooth for you to do it. But then you've also got in your marketing side of it, you've also got the price, the tenure of the property, the ownership, the lease, any ground rent and any service charges as well. So in those 2 points, in those 2 tabs, that is where you will find where you need to add this information. Another good thing as well, that Alto offers is we have this portal publishing tab at the top. And if you click on this, this will actually show you whether your listing is going to be compliant with the material information and NTS. So if I click on this, this is a fully compliant one. Hopefully it doesn't log me out or anything. And then if I go to view the content that's in the portals, we can see here, this is fully compliant with all the required information that's needed. Okay.
It's nice because it shows you how it looks as well, doesn't it? It gives you that idea of actually how it's being portrayed after putting all of that information in.
Exactly.
It's so tempting when you're listing a property, especially if you don't have much time, to just quickly get it on, put in the bare details at the bare minimum, really, do a quick description and just get it on. And actually, it's worth coming back, especially when you've got time to properly do it, and working through all of the tabs down and then all of the tabs across, because they're all there to make sure all of that information's coming in and making sure nothing's missed. So it really is worth working through it in that order.
Exactly, because another point is on your brochures is your floor plans as well, and that will be found in your media tab. I'm just going to quickly go into another property, just quickly 2 seconds, just to show you a difference where this one is alerting that it's not compliant. So if I look onto Frog Farm, Frog Lane, and I go into the portal publishing again, automatically it's giving me a red alert to say that I need to fix some errors before I actually send this to the portals. And this would relate to your brochures as well. So it's telling me that I'm actually missing my council tax band, which is really highly important for legislation. Okay. Right.
They're always questions that people ask as well, aren't they? It's the little things, it's the floor plans, it's the council tax bands, EPCs, like that, all the things that anyone looking at any property, whether it's sale or rental, they want to see this information. And actually, if it can save you having to answer a few phone calls from just uploading it, then that's amazing.
Okay. Let's move on.
Fabulous. So now we've had those details, we want to really look at what are the key elements needed for creating that high impact property listing and brochure. So what do we need to include?
Okay. So what do we need to include? So we're looking at the who and why, the what's. Okay. So who and why is our target audience. And so according to National Association of Estate Agents, over 90% of UK home buyers do begin their search online. So this really highlights the importance of understanding what the potential buyers are seeing in the property. And also research shows that properties with professional brochures actually sell 32% faster as well than others. Then if we look into what are the essential components, there are studies that found that properties with professional photos obviously receive 47% more inquiries than others with amateur photos. Property descriptions also emphasize key selling points, which obviously increase inquiries by 30%. And then obviously 1 in 5 buyers would actually ignore a property listing altogether if it didn't include a floor plan. I know personally myself as well from buying a property, the first thing I looked at was a floor plan. In also including local amenities like schools and transport links and shops can have a more attractive effect, and around 67% of buyers do consider this.
I think when you're people buying out of area as well, it's really hard, isn't it? If you don't know an area and you're looking for a property, across the UK, you don't have a set location, or maybe you're transferring jobs and actually you don't know what's around, that can be really helpful. And that's where, if you're a local agent, especially, your area, it's worth sharing that information up front because not everyone's going to know it.
Exactly. And then finally, the when and how. So according to data from Zoopla, properties actually get the most interest within the first 7 days of being listing. So brochures should be ready and deployed. Listings should be ready immediately to get that initial surge in interest. And properties with high quality marketing materials, including brochures, sell up to 31% quicker than those with the lower quality images as well.
It's also worth noting when you've got these listings up, if say you've put the property up, it's been 7 days, you've not had the traction that you want. Okay, yes, sometimes it's the price, most often it's the price, but it's also worth having a play around with, say, the photo layout, changing up the main photos. Putting a different main photo will sometimes make people look twice because they might think it's a new property that they haven't actually looked at before. Maybe it's a more appealing photo. It might give a different aspect. You can change between external shots or internal shots. Just try and feature different parts of the property and change that up regularly as well.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go again.
So yeah, another poll. Let's just have a look at what's your biggest challenge with property listings and brochures. So it's a multiple choice to put a few options for you. As Madeline, we've just launched the poll now. So you've got the designing visually appealing layouts. Is that the toughest thing for you? We've got writing compelling property descriptions, including all of the required compliance information, or is it getting high quality photos and floor plans? So just pick. It might be that actually you're fine with all of these. It might be that you struggle with all of these, but just try and pick the one that's the most challenging if you had to. We'll give
A
everyone
couple more seconds. Very interesting results. Okay. Right, let's have a quick look and see. Very, very high number with the writing compelling property descriptions, which is really good because I'm going to show you a little tip on this as well within Alto now, because we're going to go and have a look at where you can find the brochures. And it's not obviously going to be a full in-depth training because we don't have the time for this today, but I'll show you where you can find to do your description of your property in your summary area as well, and a little key tool that is really helpful for it. Okay, so into Alto, I know, which just, there we go. So over to you, Emma.
Yeah, so how do we build a compliant and effective listing and brochure within Alto?
Of course. So let's go back into here again, back into Alto. So really interesting with that high result on the writing the property description. In your property tab, we have, let's go into here, we have our summary. And quite often, people don't actually realize this is here. Already Alto pulls through the information that you've added in. This is why Emma said it's key to get as much information about the property in as you're loading it in. But we also now have the AI generator, which you can put up to 5 key points that you want added in, and this will generate a summary for you. I can just go quickly onto another property just to quickly show to see if there's anything on this one. No, it's not. So I could put here, for example, close to schools, quiet area, close to beach, random things here. And then what it will do, if I generate, it's already going to pull through all the information that I have. It's just generating it now. As you can see, it's pulling through the information that we already have on the property within Alto, but it's also added in these key points that I want to add in as well, which gives it that compelling property summary and description as well.
Such a time saver, isn't it? I think, and it gives you a starting point, and that's sometimes the hardest thing. Is obviously you can go in and change that if you want to, if some bits aren't quite right, or you want to just adapt them slightly to be even more tailored to your area. But it gives you that starting point to build on, which is such a helping hand, because when you're looking at a blank screen with nowhere to start, it can be really tricky.
Okay, so let's have a look at our brochures. So where do we find these brochures in the first instance? So again, this is a fully compliant brochure. We go to our documents and we can go to our brochure setup. Okay, and in here you have different brochures. We highly recommend that you stick to the same templates to obviously have consistency with your marketing. And also, if you want to do customized ones, we highly recommend that you clone them. If you want your own bespoke brochure, we'll send the information out. I'll post the webinar that we would contact our design team who will be able to assist you with this further. Okay, so if I wanted to edit this brochure, I would just simply click into edit. Okay, and there's many things that you can do on this. However, I wouldn't edit this main template. I would actually recommend that you clone it and create a new template for it. Okay, and then quite simply, there's so many different things that you can do. You can change and add your photos in here as well. So if I just scroll down a bit more, because this is our main photo, you can change and add photos. You can add in any extra dynamic text by just double clicking. It does sometimes, it comes down here, and you can add any extra sort of dynamic text in here. This has also been made compliant with NTS as well. So you can add things in like council tax band as well, your tenure, so if it's freehold or leasehold. So we can add that in as well. You can also, if we scroll down, like I said, you can change the pictures around, so you can move them about. Okay. And you can also add photos, so you can add sections in. So if I go here, if I click add section, I could add a main flow in. I could add a floor plan in if it wasn't in. You can add the map as well. And
that's really nice for different sizes of properties as well, isn't it? Because you might want something a lot more elaborate if you've got a much larger property with a lot more features, whereas if you've got, say, a smaller flat that doesn't have a garden, doesn't have parking, you might want to keep the information a lot more condensed. So being able to chop and change sections is really flexible.
yeah, and you can also change the view of the map as well. Like I said, this is just a quick sort of snapshot to see where you can find it, that it's available and what you can do. But don't worry, we will be sending a video guide post this webinar that goes into full depth on what you can do, how you can change things as well. But we'll also be having a survey at the end of the webinar when you leave the webinar, which will ask you whether you would require some further assistance and training with a dedicated trainer on this as well. Okay, so also as well, when you've finished customizing it, you can also do a PDF test. So you're able to look and see what it looks like from the test. Okay, but obviously you have to save it first. But what I will do is I'll show you that one that I've prepared earlier as well, just so you can see exactly what it's going to look like. And this is a fully compliant brochure. Okay, so if I go to brochure setup, and you can see you've got all the different layouts here as well. Oh, my mouse just got stuck. And then if I go preview, might take a moment to load.
We've had a couple of questions in the chat, Madeline, just about this. Does it now include Part C at NTS? Do you know whether it includes that?
Let me just double check on that one as well. So let me just show you this compliant first. So you can see this is a fully compliant brochure. Okay, so Part C is obviously to do with all of the flood risks and everything as well. So that's all that part. But here's a really, really good point that I just want to highlight. As you can see on this one here, we've added a QR code in, and there is an integration within Alto that you can use called Movely. And Movely ensures that brochures and all your information is NTS compliant. So there is an integration is available. So for example, let me just show you what it would look like. Let me just bring it over. Can we see that on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so here, this is everything that you would need to be NTS compliant. This one you can see isn't fully NTS, it's not showing all the details in here, but this is it's showing the exact information that you need. And it's really good way of being able to add it into your brochure by adding in this QR code. So if you integrate with Movely, you're able to convert it into a QR code and add it into your brochure as well. Okay, so you can see parts B. And if I scroll down, part C, and any additional information. Okay, if you want further information on that, that can be provided as well. But it is a really, really good to ensure that you stay NTS and compliant. Okay, so let's go quickly into one little extra bonus tip. And I just want to show you, so if any of you offer open house, if you do actually offer open house viewings, just quickly, I did create a really sort of engaging email template, because I know we've covered email templates before, but this is something that you can do to send out to potential clients. So if I just click in here, I'm just going to show you the template. and then we will move into our QA. Let me just find the template. So open house viewings.
It's worth noting as well, because obviously we're going through this quite quickly, but on our help center on Alto, there's step-by-step guides for all of these processes as well. So if you're seeing anything and you're thinking, I'm not sure how to set up the brochure template or the email templates, we've got step-by-step processes for all of this. So we'll make sure you get some of those links as well, but have a look on there.
Okay. So here we go. Just a quick overview of a compelling template that you can send if you do your open house viewings as well. So here we can just see there's a screenshot showing the compliance side of it as well, that it's freehold and it's council tax band in there. Why they should attend. And just like a snapshot as well. So I've included the photos, some of the photos from the property. And then you've got this here, this button where they can click on it and they can fill out a form with their email address to say they want to save their spot and they'll be attending. So that was just a quick bonus tip. But obviously this is more about your brochures as well. However, that is pretty much coming to the end of what we've covered. Like I said, there wasn't the time today to go full into depth on the training, but we can offer some further assistance and further training. We kind of really wanted to just show you where it is, how to be compliant, the integration on to help you being compliant as well, to ensure that you have got amazing property listings for your properties. So without further ado,
video that we're sending out as well has like the step-by-step. It's only about 2 minutes long, and it just gives you the real step-by-step way of creating those brochures and just tailoring them around as well. So it might give you a few ideas of what you can move about in there. And it's a quick video that you can obviously pause and follow along with when you're creating them.
And we do have on the right hand side, you've got the clickable resources as well on the right hand of this screen, that you can actually access the direct links to the help centre where the guides are.
I'm just going to put one in the chat as well, because there's a National Trading Standards Keeping Your Property Listings Compliant article. So if you want to just click on that while you're in here and just have it up as a little tab separately, at least you've got that one to hand, which should give you a starting point.
Okay. And as usual, like we always say, there is so much additional support and content available for you to learn. We've got the on-demand videos, the bite-sized or insider webinar series. We have bespoke training as well, and we've got all the tools you need to get your team up and running in no time. And obviously, remember, you can just access this as well. So we have a training offering. And again, on the right-hand side, you'll see in the resources, there is a training offering. If you click on that, it will give you everything that we do provide and we do offer. Okay, so let's go into Q&A. We do have, I know we've had some people backstage assisting.
Yes, we have. We've luckily had Lisa backstage, who's been answering a few of the questions in the chat. So thank you, Lisa. We've just had one from Jamie. Can I see again how to change the map type and colour of the marker on the map? Do you still have the property brochure up, or are you able to get that up?
Let me go into, have I got the edit one open? Okay, yeah. So we click on this and let me just go into the map type. We go here into the map type and you can change it to road map, satellite. Let me just go say hybrid or road map. Does that help?
Yeah, and it was the marker. Can you change the marker on the map? Or is that set?
No, that is set. You would have to do that within Alto.
It's on the left-hand side, property marker, blue.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
There we go. But obviously as well, you can in a property record. Let me just go back. Ooh, there we go. It's telling me I need to do something. If we go into a property record as well, and you go into mapping, you can actually synchronize your maps with your photo view as well. Okay. Amazing. So shall we get to the exciting part? Or do we have more questions?
More, yeah. Sorry, who do you contact for bespoke brochures? So that's our design team. Actually, we'll pop their email address in the follow-up email that we're going to send out to you, so that you've got a direct contact there. But yeah, so you can either design it yourself, but if you want it to be like really crisp and obviously done for you, there is a service that we have through our design team that can do that.
I can see, yeah, people are putting there's questions coming through on the chat, not the Q&A. That's why I couldn't see them. Okay, amazing. So should we do the exciting bit now?
Yeah, let's go on to ours. Any questions that do come through that we haven't had time to answer, we will get back to you individually as well. So don't worry if we haven't answered your questions. We'll review everything and get back in touch. But for now, let's go on to have a look at our winner from our previous webinars. So this was everyone who basically scanned this little QR code on the side and left us some feedback. We want open, honest feedback of how you thought it was. They were all entered into this draw. So from our next webinar as well, we'll have a new prize to do. So make sure that you get onto the next webinars too, because we'll have something exciting available. But for now, if we can click to spin, find out who our lucky winner is to receive that training.
Are we ready?
Yeah, ready. Here we go. Oh, it's thinking about it. Who have we got? We have got Beckenham.
Beckenham.
David Beckenham. No, Beckenham. This is
Not David Beckham.
this is the first part of the email address, and we won't obviously share the full email address. But so whoever, I don't know if they're on the call or not, but if that is you, congratulations. If they're not on the call, we'll reach out to them separately anyway. But yeah, exciting stuff. So they've won a day's training from one of our trainers, which is an amazing prize for their company. So stay tuned on some of our other webinars because we are going to have a new prize coming shortly. But if in the meantime you could scan the QR code and give us any feedback, that would be amazing. It just helps us tailor these webinars to you and create new content and refine them every single time. So that'd be brilliant. I'm sorry, Sharon, that
Yes, I just saw that. Sorry, Sharon.
there will be
Keep
more.
entering.
There definitely will be more opportunities, and we'll be bringing that prize back as well at some point. We might change them up a little bit so that they're exciting for you. But yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining. Really appreciated it. Hope that this helps. We'll be sending out that follow-up email to you with all of the links and the design team's email as well, so you've got that. And any questions that we haven't answered, we'll follow up with as well. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Hope you have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend ahead.